So the Rubies that I spent most of my time working at in the end, the Ruby Tuesday in Newcastle in Pennsylvania,
All right.
shut down. Yeah. So I was like, whoa, when we heard about it, it was like so crazy. A bunch of us all kind of like started commenting on Facebook about how it was so wild that it happened. I mean, we all kind of knew it was coming because, the company's kind of on fire. But
it has been on fire for a very
long time. It has been on fire for a very long time.
Really, it's surprising how long they've been floating while burning.
Oh, absolutely. But I just today had this crazy realization, like a half hour ago, and I just started dying laughing in the kitchen. Kayla came over and she was like, "What are you laughing about?" I was like, "I just realized something. On my last day, I used an entire roll of labels by just writing Neil was here and hiding them on the backs and sides of equipment. And now somebody is going to come across these labels everywhere.
That's amazing.
Like, who is that?
That's priceless. And as a person who has worked for a restaurant that had other restaurants closed down, they send staff there, and then those staff have to clean up the equipment to then ship it to other restaurants. I was part of that once at a pizza place. So, like, they're gonna find those. That's fucking hysterical, man. It's gonna be a guy scrubbing stuff down and just like, Neil! The fucking Neil was here again. What the fuck is this, man? He's been fucking here all over the place.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zach Rye with Old Man Gaming. You, dear listener, for whatever reason, have decided to tune into another Horrible Gaming Podcast. And I really don't know why, since if you listened to the episode before. Nonetheless, I am not alone. Usually I am never alone. Neil's already doing the Zach Went Too Far face, and we haven't even gotten into the episode yet. My co-host,
Neil Tana Wizard.
And we are here. We're going to do a fun show this time, because we are going to be off next week. I'm getting a pay-per-view, and very exciting. I actually convinced Neil to come over for it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to watch the pay-per-view. Very excited about that. That being said, we won't have an episode next week, but we'll be back the week after that, hopefully. But we decided to do something fun this episode. We're going to be talking about indie games that we haven't shouted out before. Smaller games from smaller companies that are doing all the right things, because let's face it, the news that Neil is going to say suck. So we're going to talk about a lot of that shit again. And I'm pretty sure your fan interaction, I haven't read any of it, is going to be in response to shit I said last week. So it's just going to be bad no matter what. So it carries over on into the next and the next and the next. But before we get into it, we got to thank the people who make this show possible. Behind our ugly mugs was a custom graphic provided by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. The theme song for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, my brother Nick Van Siders. We thank him for that. We'll be right back with fan interaction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That's fan interaction. That's where we read out the comments that you guys post in all the places we find them. We are a smaller channel. We are able to do this. It is one of the nice parts of being a smaller channel. So, of course, from newest to oldest, I have no idea why it does that, but it's the only way I can see them all. We start with Asylum66. I don't disagree. Console lifer drove to PC from the greed. I mean, not much to add to that, really. I kind of feel the same way, although I did it one generation prior. And honestly, all props to Philbilly on that one. He's the first one that kind of put me more towards the PC side when I was really having trouble with the whole 4K refresh rate bullshit that I did not want to deal with. So yeah. I mean, do you have anything to add to that?
Honestly, I was really kind of hoping that Sony was going to keep their exclusives on PC too, because at that point, I would have completely jumped ship from console. If I could get all the Sony exclusives, though, Sony's on my shit list right now, so, I mean, I'm sure I'll cave eventually, but hardcore on my shit list.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
But yeah, absolutely, PC has slowly been becoming more my primary console, which is insane to me. I play my PC and my Steam Deck a lot more than I do anything else, which is very interesting to me as I have changed in my preference, I guess.
Well, and what's interesting, and this is going to sound I told you so, I don't mean it that way, but when you first decided to build a PC, you were like, I'm just going to build a PC on the side, I got my consoles, that's where I do my gaming, and then it just slowly pulls you it's been pulling you away. I mean, once you get a PC and you get in that ecosystem and you realize how easy and affordable it is, it's kind of like, oh, I don't really have a reason to go back. Especially since, and when we talked about it a lot last time, I feel like the next thing that these companies are going to try to do to us is pigeonhole and stifle and control the feed to you, which they can do now. Especially when they go to physical only, you're buying just from a PlayStation or a Microsoft storefront. You're not buying from multiple storefronts. You are not getting the best price for the game because Sony knows you can only buy from them. Xbox knows you can only buy for them. Switch knows you can only buy from them. This is a thing. I mean, honestly, Nintendo has already been doing this. If you use Nintendo as an example, how many Nintendo games go on sale and how many times are they more than 20% off? Very rarely. They almost never permanently reduce in price. That is not because the games are so good that they just never come down. That is because Nintendo knows that you have to have a Nintendo system and you have to buy from Nintendo. If Steam was able to process and sell Nintendo games, Steam would control the price of the games because Steam controls the price of the games for everything else. But now we're in a situation where without that physical media component, Sony, Microsoft, they get to then decide what their games are. And honestly, I still think that's why Sony made the announcement they're bringing their games back to their system, taking them away from PC. Xbox is doing the same thing, and I think that is because, not because they want to get you a better value, not because they want to bring value to the console, but because they want to force you to purchase those games through them for the prices they want to charge you.
Yeah, I think Nintendo has gotten away with it because they do it with this family-friendly smile on their face sort of way that they do things. But yeah, to your point, that is the perfect example of what the PlayStation Store is going to become. You'll get little discounts here and there. Maybe they'll have a big once-a-year Steam-like sale where you can get things maybe 50% off instead of 20% off. But to be fair, not that they would ever do this, since their profit margins are going to increase so much, they can still afford to put them on sale and make those sales. Yeah. But of course, pie in the sky wishing that they would ever do that.
I mean, you think about Steam, right now, every day you can go on Steam and get something for 50% off. You know what I mean? The amount of the price discounts that you get there is huge. And I think a lot of the consoles and other games have to kind of acquiesce to that because they know they'll just go get there and get them. With this now, they can control it, and that's not a good thing. Moving on, Jason then said, somebody set up us the bomb. I think there was a little bit of a type in there, but I'm going to guess that he's just talking about me, and I exploded, and that happened. Jason also said, I'm tired of living in the origin of a cyberpunk dystopia. I'm about to go hole up in a cabin in the woods and become a hermit for newbie heroes to come seek wisdom from after society collapses and life becomes an old school 8-bit JRPG. That's a bleak but fun comment, my friend. But yeah, it definitely looks like that in a lot of ways. We are definitely pre-cyberpunk dystopia, but
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far into that because that's not just gaming, you know.
I mean, they were selling. I think they were calling it Surreal Estate back when they were trying to get the metaverse up and running.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, we're already. That's already half a Ready Player One. So
it really is. William Hohen, hi! Exclamation point. Sorry to hear you're still medically challenged. Apparently I always am, and everybody expects me to be. So, what about you shift the podcast content? What about just talking about games you're playing? Retro gaming, best memories, first games you've played, etc. You don't have to cover the news after all. On the physical media, it does really suck. What is bumming me out? What is bumming me outside of game preservation is the libraries won't have games anymore, but it's weird to me to hear a lot of PC players complaining about it since they lost physical media like 2 decades ago and no one really cares. I hear your arguments about how PC is different, but still not really convinced, to be honest. We can agree it sucks, that's for sure. Thanks for the show. Hashtag Zach's mad. Yeah, like I said, we do that sometimes, and today we are doing that. I think that we're a new show, and that's just something we do. And I'll be honest, the breaks are not all just because the content gets too much for me. That is true, that happens, but in addition, I am back to working. There's a lot of things going on in our lives. It is not as easy to do a weekly show every week, no matter what, even if my mental state is in good situation, which it never really is. That being said, again, just to reiterate, my problem with them dumping the physical stuff. You're right, PCs, we don't have physical stuff anymore. It is all through Steam. But again, that allows for multiple digital marketplaces. I can buy from Steam, I can buy from Epic, I can buy from GOG, I can still buy from Microsoft, I can buy from Ubisoft Plus if I'm a lunatic. I think that there are a lot of places where you can go. And that competition keeps prices where they should be. They keep them competitive. When you are on a console, that console is everything you see on that console is supplied to you by the people who made that console. Everything. If you are playing a Sony PlayStation, everything you see is supplied to you and allowed to be supplied to you by Sony. It all goes through them. They are the filter. So when that happens, they get to decide the prices of all the games there. And if they know you're on PlayStation only, then they decide the prices of all of the games in the PlayStation Marketplace. They decide all the prices for anybody on PlayStation. That is the problem that I have here for me. The biggest one is the physical media kept the prices slightly competitive because you could take that, you could go shop from Walmart, you could go shop from Target, you could find deals and better prices, you could go to GameStop and trade your games in. I mean, I know it's not the best anymore, but still, that is an option that you had. You don't have that anymore. And without that option, Sony controls the entirety of the market to Sony PlayStation players. That's the problem. It will not keep your prices competitive. And if you look at Nintendo, again, the prices of those games are not high because those games are better than the games we see anywhere else. They're good games. I'm not saying they're not. But There's nothing about them that makes them exceedingly better than anything else. The reason those prices are so high is because Nintendo controls all of the revenue that comes to it. They control the prices, they control where you can get them, and how you can get them. I mean, and in fairness, Nintendo still has physical media in some way, shape, or form.
You have the logical reason why why this should be challenged. Myself, I like to hold the plastic thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I like to have it physically. It is in my possession. It is mine. It's not some thing that's floating around in the ether. I feel like the games that I played when I was younger on physical cartridges, I have such a deeper love for because I can physically hold them close. It's not like I wonder if, kids growing up right now playing games primarily on PC, if they're going to feel the same way about all of those games, or if it's going to be like, yeah, sure, I played that. Sure, I played that. Meanwhile, I ritualistically play through Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like, at least once a year. Yeah. Like, it's a two different vibes.
I agree. I have a Dreamcast that I went out and bought special parts for so I can make it work again so I can play it. I think that's another thing, the game preservation. I mean, this goes to game preservation, but how do you pass on games? Right now, upstairs, one of my favorite games that I've ever played was Anthem. I know I am very much alone in that court. One of my favorite games I have ever played is Anthem. It is upstairs. It is on a disc. I can put that into a game. It cannot be played. I cannot pass that on to my daughter. I can't show her how cool that was. And, like, that is infuriating to me. I think that, there's a lot of reasons for it. I'm totally okay with the physical thing. I think also, to your point, it takes away that collector's mentality. I don't need to, have every game in, the Assassin's Creed saga on my in my library on my Steam thing. I'm not going to take somebody out and be like, look at this. Whereas if I had it in my little collection, look at that. I've got all of them. That's pretty cool. Takes away that collector's mentality. People still go and they bid huge amounts of money on old Nintendo and Sega Genesis cartridges just to have them. You lose that with this process that they're taking away. And again, that's another problem with all this, is that the game companies are not looking at they're not looking at the best thing for the industry as a whole. They're looking for how much money they can make for just themselves right now before it all burns. And that's the problem. They're going to leave a shell. And I think that's just another symptom of it. But hopefully we answered you, sir. And as far as the medically thing, man, I never wanted to be that person, but apparently I am. So I guess I got to own it.
There's always someone.
It bums me out. It bums me out that that's my that's how I'm known, as the guy who's sick or hurt all the time. But all right, so we are going to take a quick break. We will be right back with a fun talking point. We're going to talk about independent games, smaller games that we want to shout out and just discuss with each other. We're going to do something fun today and just get some more eyes on them. If we can. I have a few, and I'm purposely going to avoid games that I've already talked about and reviewed, even if they're independent, such as Absalom, because that would be easy. But I'm going to try and shout out some new stuff to you guys. So we'll be right back with that right after this.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our talking point. Independent games we can trust, companies we can trust, that me and Neil just want to shout out and maybe get some eyes on. I've got a few that I want to talk about. I don't know how many Neil has, because this was kind of a knee-jerk one that we didn't do a lot of planning on. So
Couple. I got a couple.
You got a couple? You want to start us off then?
Okay. Now, some of these here, to be fair, I cannot remember the developers' names.
Okay.
Actually, pretty much just about across the board. But there have been a couple games that I picked up that have been on the indie side of things. Escape from Ever After is one of those. Hey, Nintendo won't make one, so we're gonna make one instead. Sequels to Paper Mario. It is 1-to-1 Paper Mario, art style and everything. And it's just wonderful to have something like that again. Because Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing with it, apparently. Same goes with Aero GPX. It's been getting some updates.
Well, let's go one after another because we don't want to bust through all our stuff too fast.
Okay.
This one looks great. I just looked it up. It's Sleepy Castle Studio is the developer that did it. This looks fucking awesome, and I've never heard of this. How much have you played it?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I'm in maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
It is.
I'm looking this up because I is it like old school Paper Mario, like the first like Nintendo 64 Paper Mario?
Like it's the Nintendo 64 Paper Mario.
Oh my god, that I can't believe I haven't seen it before because I love Paper Mario, the first one.
Yeah. This game it scratches that itch for sure. Because after the 1,000-Year Door, they never went back to that same standard formula for some reason.
And let's face it,
it
hasn't been good.
No. No, I remember not too long ago, about a year or so ago, Nintendo put out like a survey asking how players felt about the status and direction of Paper Mario. Almost like, should we go back to the old way? Which I'm pretty sure most fans would probably say yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and they still didn't. They did the Origami King, which looked like they were gonna do an old way, and then it came out and it was like, what the fuck is this, man? Why didn't we go back to the original? Dude, this game looks fucking amazing. I'm putting it on my wish list. This game looks amazing. I'm so glad you said this. This is what I wanted to get out of this, because this is a game that I had never seen before this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome. There's also, it looks like they have added to it too, with like a area decorator and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like some more modern features to it as well.
Yeah, in its earlier state, to be fair, it was pretty, I wouldn't say rough, but unpolished.
So it came from like an early access sort of thing.
Almost, yeah. That was actually the first game that I bought on Steam that did that. Hey, this is the launch week. If you buy it in the launch week, you get a discount.
I love that. Every game has that. It's like a 10% off thing. I think that like the other thing that's really nice too is I love getting a game for cheap in the early access and seeing what it's going to be like, but realizing it's not there yet and then coming back to it when they jack the price back up, which they should for the full game.
Yeah.
But you've got it for way cheaper and you get all the awesome features. That's what I did with Nitrogen Omega, which have you played that yet?
What was this? What is
Nitrogen Omega? All right, I did two reviews for it, I think. I did a 1.0 release and an early access release for it. Basically what it is, and this isn't even one of the ones I was planning on shouting out, but I'll talk about it for a second. Basically what it is you get these procedurally generated anime kid type characters, like teenage anime kid type characters. And then it is a strategy game, like a turn-based strategy game, but everything is hand-drawn so that when the action plays out, it looks like an anime is happening. And it's like a Sentai where all four are controlling one mech. Sort of thing, and like one of them is the gunner and they can do gunshots, and then another one is the driver, but you only have so many actions in a round and you have to decide who's acting where. And then they can have like stress breaks, but they can also have super hype where they get really badass and like Super Saiyan out in the fucking thing. It's awesome. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing story-wise, and it's just, and then in between you do all these like, you build their relationships and you have them do stuff together, and like they become friends and they become rivals, and that also affects how they interact in the mechs. And it's just, Really fucking cool game.
Yeah, I looked it up, and I've been watching the trailer while you've been talking. It's very interesting.
That's literally exactly what I did for Escape Ever After.
Very
You said it,
interesting.
isn't it? And like,
Yeah.
when I saw the trailer, my biggest concern of that one was like, the combat's not going to be deep enough because it's all hand drawn. But that is 100% wrong. The combat is super deep and super fun and great. The mecha customization is there. I think the only things that are a little bit of a downside is you only have one mech, period. There's 2 other mechs you can unlock, but you have to do like special in-game missions, which I don't really like. I would much rather have you like start from those areas and have a different kind of starting point, but in those newer mechs, than be forced to start in one and do these really complex missions to unlock other ones. The other thing is that sometimes the difficulty just fucking spikes and owns your ass. Like, you'll think you're fine, and then all of a sudden, like, it lulls you into a false sense of security instead of having like a straight difficulty the whole time. Does that make sense?
Yes, that sort of stuff. I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm not either. And like, it's sometimes, like, I like it a little bit because it makes sense with what the game is, you know, because you've got these characters who just get into a sense where like, I can kick anybody's ass, and then oh no, I can't, and then all of a sudden everybody's like half dead or wounded or tired, you know, which I enjoy that aspect of it. But at the same time, I would much rather be scared the whole time than be like, I've got this game on lockdown, and then meet one bad guy, and that bad guy just like spanks me into oblivion. But
Never been a fan of difficulty spikes.
yeah, neither am I. But nonetheless, overall, it's a really fun game. It's definitely worth it. That is not the first one I'm shouting out, though. That was just one we went into.
Yeah.
But that one, the reason we went into it is I bought it in early access when it was cheaper, and like, it wasn't there yet. I played a few hours and I was like, this is good. It's not there yet. And then I didn't take it off. And then when it went to 1.0, I went back to it. They raised the price, you know, I think it was like $15 when they went to 1.0. As well they should. It's a complete game now. Give it a different price.
Yeah.
They didn't make me pay extra because I had already bought in for the early access.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to it when it was full, and I was like, oh my God, they corrected half the problems I talked about in my review. Like, this is amazing, you know? So like, it was really fun. My first one I want to talk about, I don't know that it's even, let's say, a smaller company. I don't really think of them as this, but I don't think a lot of people have played this. And this is going to be one that kind of shouts to our TTRPG fans as well. And the game is called Sunderfolk. And that game is done by Secret Door as a developer and the publisher Dreamhaven. And basically, it is one of these kind of like skirting the edge of like TTRPGs and video games sort of thing. Mm-hmm. More like board games, though. Think about it more like a hobbyist board game than anything.
Okay.
I've been playing this with my daughter and my wife. That is something I have never gotten to do. Like, play a real video game that everybody is enjoying and nobody's mad, and like working together, especially since like, I know a lot, some of you know this, some of you don't. Me and my wife are two very different people. That's good. That's why our relationship works. She's not super into video games. She's not she's not super into video games. She's not into role-playing games at all. And my daughter is nerdy, but not, and she is into video games, but not super into the role-playing game thing. So like, there isn't that like universal connection, which is okay. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, it's nice that this has hit it. Today we played 2 hours of this game as a family. So I should describe the game. The game, but that in itself was kind of like just a magical moment for me. So what this game is, they just hit their 2.0 patch. So the game is, you log into the game, and then everybody who wants to play logs in with their phone. You download this really simple app that's like a controller for your phone, and then you pick a character from the characters there, and the characters are all like kind of like archetypes. There's like a bard and a rogue and a fighter and a berserker and stuff like that. You pick one, you rename them, and then you go into these kind of like turn-based battles or turn-based puzzle situations. And then your character, you kind of play cards and actions from your phone so that the character moves, and you use your finger to kind of drag the cursor around the hex to move your character. So it's super easy, but all of the stuff happens on the screen. So everybody's watching the screen, but you also have your own personal phone that acts as your character sheet and all of the stats of the world and all of this stuff. Really easy to jack into. The biggest thing I was concerned about when I tried it, and the demo's free on Steam. Just want to point that out. I'm not sure. I think there's a console launch for it. I'm not 100% positive for that, but I think. And basically, like, one of the things I was really concerned about was going to be super overtly complicated, or it was going to have like really heavy team mechanics, and it doesn't. Like, today, basically the party was a ranger who shoots nothing but bows and then 2 wizards, and we were kicking ass. But there's still plenty of room for like team mechanics between the players, and then as you level up, you get these extra cards that you can add to your kind of deck in your personal little stuff. What's even cooler about this is if you start a game, you can like switch out players, switch out the amount of people in. It doesn't matter. Like if me and Stella played the first time together, I played one character class that I didn't really like. Stella loved her character class, so she stuck with her character class. But when we played the second time, we played on the same game. Melissa jumped in. There was no problem with that. Melissa got to pick a character, name the character, and then I got to pick another character and rename it. It saved my name for the original character that I had played, and that character leveled up as we did stuff, even though it wasn't part of the party. So, like, it is real easy to access, real easy to play. There's all these side missions in it. In between the overall missions, on your phone, you get this little map of the city, and you can go to talk to people individually in the city and get yourself kind of acquainted with the actual, like, civilians that you're protecting and stuff. You can become more closer friends with them. They'll gift you stuff. You can also buy stuff at the marketplace. But at that moment, none of you are together. The TV just becomes this big map, and you see where each character is at any point in time. But until everybody moves to the gates, you're not going on another mission. So I loved this. I absolutely love this. It's called Sunderfolk, and it's just like, it's so easy and cool to play, especially if you are a... Go ahead.
It's already... I've already looked it up and added it to my list.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, this is like you could play this with you and Kayla real easy, and it would be a lot of fun. The only things I'll say negative is it's definitely more on the board game side, less on the role-playing game side. So, like, your characters never talk. They never really make any big, like, role-play decisions. It's all like, are we going here or are we doing this? That kind of stuff. But it's never like, it's much more strategy-based outside the game than actual role-playing. Like, you see your characters on the screen. There's one voice that is the game master, and that voice narrates all the characters, and which is really cool because this voice does all these different characters, which is fun. So it gives you that experience, but there's no real role-playing options. Like, even when you're talking to people, you're just like, I'm talking to this person, and maybe you get a choice between 2 things, but you're just talking to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. I'm a sucker for those kinds of games anyways, like the Jackbox style games you can play with your phone. Because they do blend it all together. It's playing a video game, but a party game.
Yeah.
And you can be a gamer playing with a non-gamer. It just brings everybody together. Those things are fantastic.
I mean, one thing that I really like, too, is, like, the way they do the controlling with the phone. It makes it, like Melissa would have... If this was any other type of game, there would have been a lot of questions. And my wife might have been like, look, this is too complicated. I don't want to be in this. But the way this is just put forth on her phone right to her, she picked it up immediately, which is just not something you normally do, And I don't know. I love the idea that I could switch the characters too. So like next time we play, I can play the bard and like my goat character will still level up. And that's completely fine. You can have multiple save spots too, so if you want to start over with other people, you can. Like it's a really fun one. But do you have another one?
Yes.
Okay. Go then. Do it.
So I'll tell you what, man. Everybody's probably heard of this one, so it's kind of cheating. Stardew Valley, man, is my total jam. Total jam, dude. The cozy game.
I don't have to look that one up.
You don't have to look that one up. Nobody has to look that one up. In case there's anybody out there who doesn't know what it is, it's like a cozy farm life sim sort of game. It does. I'm kind of surprised. It does actually have a little bit of combat and everything in it too. But and it's hard sometimes too, by the way. But yeah, overall, I just absolutely love that game. I feel like everybody should try it at least once, even if you're not a fan of the genre, just to pick up on its vibe. It's a really, I love it. Shout it out. And honestly, to that end, I guess a one, because they're kind of two sides of the same coin. Coral Island. Kayla's gotten me into that one here too. It is.
I've almost gotten that one a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that one is a bit more in depth than the others. It's the same thing but a different vibe, and that's the only way I can like describe it without you playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that one there. That one's pretty solid too.
My biggest problem with Stardew is it's too intense, like, for a cozy game. Like, I tried it. I tried it. I really did. I gave it a college try. And my big problem is I'm constantly passing out. And, like, everybody's like, oh, you can romance all these people. I'm like, fucking win. I'm covered in sweat just trying to get back to my bed before I fucking fall asleep in a field. And that's my entire day. Who's romancing anybody in this game? I do want to say something, though. A game you should check out, and unfortunately it's not multiplayer, which is the biggest downside to it, but it is in the vein of Stardew that I've been playing that I really enjoy. This is not one of the ones that I was planning on shouting out, but it's called Potion Permit. And it is really fucking good, but they take out all that upkeep stuff that is really frustrating from Stardew. So, like, it's a little bit more simplified in some ways. Like, you're never going to just pass out and die. Or pass out where you're standing. Like, you got to sleep to end the day or whatever, but, like, that's never going to happen. The other thing, but the basic premise of it is, if it's Stardew, it's the top-down kind of retro feel, but you're this alchemist in a fantasy setting who's going out there to become a doctor. So, like, people will show up with sicknesses. You have to diagnose their sicknesses, then construct a potion to cure them in the amount of time that in less time than it would take to make them sicker. So, like, that's kind of the thing. What I really like about it is people, like people who you need in the village can get sick. And if they get sick and they have to get shipped off, like, you don't cure them, you lose that thing. Like, if the blacksmith gets sick and gets shipped off, you can't get your stuff upgraded anymore. Because,
oh, God.
Yeah, because the blacksmith ain't there. They got sick. What's cool, though, and how they get around the fact that, like, this would just be unplayable, is they get over this one thing I fucking hate in games, and I've realized it's something that, like, is keeping me from playing certain games, is that upkeep aspect that everything wants to do, which is the survival crafting thing, but, like, all your shit breaks all the time, and if you don't constantly feed it raw materials, it'll break on you. This game doesn't have that. You have all the tools you need to start, They're in their weakest form. If you want to upgrade them, that's great. If you don't, you can still break, cut, and destroy anything you need. It's just, it'll take longer and more stamina. When you run out of stamina, you don't pass out. You just can't do anything anymore until you eat some food or go to the baths or go to sleep. So, like, that's the way I like it much more that way. There's still some light combat. I really like the alchemist aspects of it, but it might be one you might want to check out because if you're a Stardew fan, I think you might like it.
I've been watching it this whole time. Looked like a Game Boy Advance game. It's already on my list.
I love it. I love it. That wasn't even one I was going to shout out. The next one I'm going to shout out, I am not recommending this to you, Neil. I don't think this is a unit game. I want everybody else out there to think about it. It is called Cyberknight Flashpoint. It's by, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of the name. I think it's the Treese brothers. They're a smaller developer. It's a cyberpunk CRPG. All the CRPG stuff is like heist mechanics. You're trying to steal something and get out. You're trying to kill everybody, get out. More things will show up. It's not a like Baldur's Gate where you slowly move through and kill everybody. It's really like, how do I move around these, or do I kill them and take the like escalation points that slowly tick up and bring in reinforcements? Like, how do I get to the thing? How do I cut all these cameras and these pressure plates and stuff? It's very intense, very heavy. You cannot play this game for a half an hour. You have to play for like at least 2.
Jesus, it looks like you're programming something while you're playing the game.
In a lot of things, it feels that way. In between the missions, there is this you have a base management thing, which is like a side cutout Fallout Shelter style, but it's much more in depth than that. And then you slowly move time, heal your guys, inventory your guys. Your people can build relationships with each other. They can build friendships with each other. They can come to hate each other. Also, it's so in depth, Neil, and this is why I'm shouting it out, because this is just a really small studio. They have literally done an update every month that I have owned this game, which is crazy. It came out like 2 years ago. What's even crazier about this is like, you know how normally you go into a store and just buy stuff, or you click the store option?
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide who you're buying it from. And those people are also people who hand you missions. And they're also people who can do favors. So you can potentially buy something and trade in a favor to get it for cheaper. If they like you. If they don't like you, they might stop selling to you. You need to build relationships with certain people so that you can even get some of the equipment. It's fucking crazy. It is one of those games where, like, when you sit down and you start to understand it, you're like, I could do anything with this. Like, this is literally like not even a role-playing game. This is exactly how this would be, every aspect of this. What then is crazy is how good the conversations are in it. Like, all the conversations are really good. Like, you like the characters. You immediately get kind of attached to them, even though they're all customizable and they're all procedurally generated. Like, which is fucking nuts. There's tons of different classes, tons of different ways to do things. I love this game. If you are a CRPG person, again, this is not a game for somebody who wants to casually burn an hour, okay? No. This is somebody who wants to sit down and dive into their game. And I'm going to say this, I don't get to play it a lot because of that. But when I do, it is some of the most rewarding sessions. This is one of the only games where I can sit down in the in-between of missions, spend 2 hours playing it, walk away from it, and feel like I got to play a game without even doing any of the CRPG stuff. Like, it's a fucking fantastic game.
Yeah, this is definitely not a me game. That is for certain.
I did say that. I did say that at the top.
Yes, you did. You most certainly did. That said, I can see an itch that would be scratched with a game like this.
It's, man. The first time I played it, I'm like, Like, I got giddy when all the characters procedurally generated in front of me and then started talking to each other. I was like, oh, this is like a State of Decay, but in depth. And like, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's very geometric and tactical for
Yes.
certain.
Yes. Yes.
This is a game that I would maybe enjoy. Weirdly enough, enjoy watching somebody play some of. To be fair, because I love the look of. I don't know. There's like on the right hand side, you have all like the words and actions and everything that's going on, and all the results of all the things, all the actions you just did. It's almost like it could run as like a Microsoft Excel sheet or something like that. It's crazy, the organization and everything with this. But I could see the appeal of something like that.
What's so cool is the little touches to this that are like, and I've already decided that when I go back to streaming, this is going to be the game I stream 100%. And like, so you could check it out when I do that. But like, one of the coolest things to it, to me, is how much detail they put into stuff that don't matter. That's just there to make the world feel bigger. Like the fact that like, so you can recruit your characters, right? And it'll be like, you know, Jane Smith or whatever. Well, if Jane Smith goes into a mission and she gets shot a lot, but somehow survives and gets out, she might get tagged with the nickname Grim. And then everybody will just start calling her Grim from that point forward.
That's cool.
Yeah! Like, I'm like, that doesn't matter to the game. Like, I had one character that was killing everybody with her sword. Like, I had Cyber Sword, and she was stealthy, so I was sneaking up on people and cutting people when they weren't looking. She got the name Blade. I was like, this fucking awesome. Like, fucking awesome. Like, I couldn't ask for a more interesting and in-depth game. I'm definitely going to be streaming it. It is one of those that just like, there's just so much to it. So much to it.
Well, the last one I think that I have really to mention is just Aero GPX that I was talking about there before.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it is. It's continued to be updated, and I tell you, I don't know why Nintendo has not made again. Here we are talking about the same thing again. Why Nintendo have you not made another one of these things when you've been testing the waters left and right? And there's very clearly an appetite, and there have been more copycats of those types of games too coming out more and more because people want it so badly. It has basically brought itself up to the level of what I would say F-Zero GX was.
Right.
With the updates, because it was kind of, I jumped in earlier on it when it launched. That was the very first day one indie game launch that I got on my PC, actually, was that game. And they've just continued to, they've continued to add more to it.
I was the one who sent you the first trailer, right? Am I taking credit for that correctly? Because I feel
like you are, because I didn't know anything about it.
I feel like that one was like, because I remember watching that and was like, I have to show this to Neil right now. And then I showed it to Neil, and Neil was like, yes, I have to get this right now. And that got nominated by us for a couple of things, if I recall correctly.
It did, yes. So yeah, that game there, it's just, if you like a fast-paced racing game, almost combat racing, but if you like something like that, it will bring you right back to those good old days.
I have one more too. I love that we did this. I know I ended up like doing 5 because of accidental ones, but I have one more too that I was planned. And this is a Neil game. You should check this one out. I love this game. It took me a little bit because there is a learning curve to it, but there is no Zacklist without a 2D brawler somewhere in there. And the game is called Wendigo Blue. This game is made by a one-person studio called Endless Fluff. It is a side-scrolling spike-based 2D game that it has roguelite elements, but it also has in-between elements where you have to like figure stuff out. It has a marketplace element, and it's fucking awesome. Here's the thing about this one. The thing that will hurt if you go to play, it's only $10. It's in early access and it's only $10. The thing that's going to hurt when you first start this one is the amount of mechanics in this game are fucking insane. Insane. There are bad guys that only respond to certain types of attacks. There are dodge attacks. There are defense. There is big attacks, weapon attacks, ways to combo those things, magic attacks. When you are doing certain attacks is kind of hard to understand. Some of the powers that you get are hard to understand. The equipment is kind of hard to understand. Where you like craft things is kind of hard to understand. But the fighting is really fucking good right off the rip. And if you give it time, what I recommend to anybody going in to buy this is buy it for $10, turn the difficulty down to easy. I didn't do it right away, and I almost put this game down. Turn it down to easy, and then start to learn the mechanics through play. This fucking game is so much fun. It is so much fun. The fact that one person studio did this is amazing. They just need to explain things a little bit better, and this game will be perfect. I think that like the characters are really interesting. The fighting is phenomenal, especially when you start to understand everything that goes into the fights. You're like, holy shit, this is the 2D game of my dreams in a lot of ways. I mean, don't get me wrong. Absalom all day, every day. But you will not spend a better $10 than this if you like 2D brawlers with heavy, meaty mechanics. It is a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff to discover here. The sprites are really good, and the music is awesome. So yeah, Wind and Glow Blue, I really want to shout that one out because it's a one-person studio. I did a review for everything I talked about, weirdly enough, other than Sunderfolk. I am working on that, but that's a hard one to do because capturing is really tricky with that because half the shit happens on your phone. But so I think I'm just going to get like, just re-record gameplay trailers and then put that over my words. I don't know how to do that otherwise, but other than that, like, this game is really fun. It will suck you in. I really like. It claimed a lot of my hours. The mechanics of the boss fights are so cool. Like, there's so many times where you're like, oh, I have to hit them with this one thing before I can even start hitting them with anything else. The instant parry stuff, the perfect parry stuff is really cool too. Like, I really like the game. I think anybody should check this one out.
That has also been added to my list.
I was about to say, that one's a Neil game. I think you'll like that one. Like I said, you got to give it some time. Turn it down to easy difficulty until you kind of figure everything out. Just to explain, in between each like little level, there's all these little trials and marketplace stuff things you can do. What they do not tell you anywhere is that some of those trials, when you press a button, like there'll be a countdown it'll be like, here's this statue. It is of this person doing this thing. Do you touch it? And then up at top, it'll be like, press X to touch it or leave it or press B to not touch it. And then a countdown. And then when the countdown ends, it's automatically, I didn't touch it. Right. What I didn't know, so I would just hit the button and I'd get a fail a lot. What I didn't know, and it took me forever of just doing these and trying different things, is that depending on what is said to you about the statue is how long you should wait to press the button. So like if the game is like, if the statue's like, this statue favors the wise man who is always patient, you should wait till the very end to hit the button. It took me forever to figure that out. Stuff like that, it just takes really long to figure out, and you'll die a lot if you don't. I didn't realize that like I was selling equipment instead of buying equipment because I didn't quite understand the mechanic of it. I thought that like the equipment I would get this equipment, and I thought, oh, this equipment, I can just put it on me by clicking the button. But I was actually selling the equipment so that I could have tags for something else later. and like I didn't realize I was doing this, so I was never adding anything to my character, and it took me a while to understand the mechanic of how to do that, because they explain the basic fighting stuff, but they don't explain anything past that, and there's all this extra added stuff, you know?
Well, it is an early access game, so I sure do hope they make some improvements there.
Well, that's what they need. They need like a hub and some other things, but it's still really fun right off the rip. So those are all our recommendations for independent games. Guys out there, gals out there. I know some of you who listen are not PC people. I don't know how many of these are on console, but if you can find them, check them out. Yeah. So we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the news.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our last segment. That is the news. Neil likes to collect stories that we want to tell you about. We want to read them out. We want to riff on them. We want to get very sad about them. Take it away, Neil.
All right. Well, this first one actually came from Zach. Sent this one to me. Very interesting, this one here. So Steam made a record-breaking $11 billion with a B dollars in profit last year. What is extremely interesting about this is it's mostly from the sale of older games. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk that people want things that they used to have? Thank God there's a place to get them digitally while you still can.
Well, and I also want to point out, I think a lot of this isn't even just older games, but the fact that the games that are coming out right now are not good.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the big contributions to all of this crash, all of the lost jobs and the money, is the fact that the games that they release now suck.
Yes.
I mean, not a universal whole, everybody. Obviously, there are exceptions to these rules. I thought First Light was a great game, but arguably First Light is an independent game from an independent studio that just had first AAA money that time. I think that, like, the games that people are buying are games that are actually good games, and the games that people aren't buying are the new games that aren't really that good. I also wish they would have added to this study how many of them are like smaller independent games. How many of them cost under $30? You know, I bet you 10 to 1, all of that 11 billion, those huge profits, came from games that were not charged $70 for.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's speculation, but that's what I think.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to also know, the spread on the indies versus AAAs. Because, like you mentioned, they are not really selling like they used to. And that's why everything's going up, because they're not selling like they used to.
I mean, that's exactly right. And, like, I love the fact that, like, you can't sell a product, so you raise the prices. It's insane. It's like the first thing. The first thing you learn in economics is supply and demand. There's no demand for this shit, but yet you want to raise the prices? Like, oh, the reason we're not making money is we're not charging enough for it. No, the reason
That'll
you're not
do
making
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason you're not making any money is you're making games like fucking Conclave and everything. You know what I mean? Like shit games that you have to can in 10 days, you know? I think that like that's a huge problem with it. I think people don't want that anymore. And that's why they're looking to older stuff that is more quality.
Got me at a bad time.
I'm
I
sorry.
thought I had an extra second to
I'm sorry.
finish chewing on my candy. Oh, no.
I can't always predict when my rant is going to end.
But, yeah, so Steam is wanting for nothing, of course, as per usual. The Gabeth Newell need a new yacht. So, moving on. The God of War series is in trouble. Real bad trouble. Ryan Hurst, the actor who's playing Kratos, tore his bicep doing a stunt for the show. They looked at the timetable for recovery and everything, and it is going to be at least half to a full year before he would be able to be back out on set. So he is actually being removed and recast, which probably means reshoots, which means who knows what the hell's going to happen with this series.
Wow. I can't believe they're replacing him.
Yeah.
I mean, a torn bicep's nasty, but like, I'm kind of surprised that they can't do anything. Like, woof. That's rough. That's rough for that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to play Kratos, you have to be doing physical stuff. He
That's
couldn't
true.
just stand there the whole time.
I could AI his muscles though.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know. It's weird to me that like they're full. Like, when was the last time you heard of an injury forcing a complete and total recast? I can't remember the last time I heard that.
That's
you know?
true.
I've heard of injuries that are like, he's injured, so it pushed us back a little bit, or we had to work around
Right.
this thing, you know, but like, I've never heard of like an injury where it's like, he's injured, we need a whole new actor to do the entire show from scratch. That's very strange to me.
Mm-hmm. Very, very strange. And there is only one more shorter
Wow,
news segment.
shorter
this
news,
week.
shorter
Yes.
news, shorter news.
And this one I saw literally today. Today
Okay.
being the Sunday before this comes out.
Yes.
They're making a Call of Duty movie.
What?
Yeah. So just, military movie.
Yeah.
So far the comments on the it's an announced teaser trailer. The whole thing's only like 20 seconds long or something stupid. They didn't even release it as a short. They released it as a whole video on YouTube. But the comments are spicy. Very, very spicy. Asking, is this for the standard or deluxe version of the movie? Things like that. Yeah, I foresee that turning into a whole debacle. A whole debacle.
You know, I gotta say, just recently, I think it was Goyer, like a famous writer, has said that he releases he receives now 10-to-1 scripts for video requests to do video game stuff instead of superhero stuff, like because the superhero bubble is on the dive. But like, my problem is that. And this might be a hot take, and this might be some crazy ass, like, out of left field, Zach doesn't know what he's talking about thing. But it just feels to me like the superhero thing started, and then Hollywood was like, we don't have to write movies anymore. We can just turn out superhero movies based on shit that already exists. And then they just force fed us that so long that we're like, I think we're sick of superhero stuff. And now they're like, well, we got to find a new well instead of just like writing and producing new and interesting movies. We have to find another like well for like, can you write the Star Fox movie? You know, like shit like that. Like why are we migrating to this? Like when I was look, I don't want movies to fail. I don't want people to fail. I don't want jobs to fail. At the same time, I thought always things kind of come around, and at some point the superhero boom is going to go down. And at that point, we'll end up getting to a point where we just get like quality superhero movies every so often instead of like boilerplate, like we need 2 superhero movies every fucking year or we're not a company, you know, sort of thing. I was hoping after that we would kind of go back to like just making movies on our own, but it's like no, we have to find this other well for like shit to just produce movies out of, and it's very frustrating to me because like I don't understand. I've said this thousands of times over the 300 plus episodes we've done of this show. I don't think video games make the best material for movies. I think that video games are the most subjective forms of art. I say that at the beginning of every one of my review. And the reason it's the most subjective form of art is because it is communicating. It is the only art that you can communicate with and change. There's no other art in the world that any other art, you see it, or you listen to it, or you watch it, or you smell it, or you taste it. That's the art. Somebody else produces a thing, they show it to you, and you appreciate it. I'm not saying any of that's bad, but with video games, it's the only art that somebody made it, they show it to you, and then they go, Now you do something with it. You can't do that in a movie. It takes that feeling away. It takes that right out of the equation. You can't watch a movie the way you played that game. And you playing that game is your headcanon for what that is. And that's always going to come off a little bit wonky and weird, in my opinion. I don't think it makes the best material for movies. I'm not saying that it can't be done. The first Mario movie was really good. I hear the second one is crap. We talked about it a little bit. But, like, there's other ones that have hit and other ones that haven't. It's just like, overall, I don't think we should be mining this for shit. And I definitely don't want what happened to comics, which comics became they became reliant on the movies to the point where the comics were dictated by the movies coming out. Like, like Bucky Barnes was Captain America, but because we were doing another Captain America movie, we have to somehow get Steve Rogers back in Captain America so that people will come buy Captain America. The other thing is, every time a new movie came out, they would reset it to a number one. Oh, this is Wolverine number one, which invalued all the number ones of Wolverine that there had ever been, because they do 60 issues and reset to a number one. A lot of that stuff happened because of movies' influence on the comic books. We got enough shit going wrong with video games. We don't also need to input like movies and what movies needs out of the video game industry on top of that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I think this is one thing that you and I have kind of been on opposite sides of when it comes to, because I'm very much like, you have a story here. You see the story in the game, go through the story, like beat for beat. That's what I want. But to be fair, there are some things like Fallout had to be what it is. You know, multiple stories that happening, and, you know, sometimes they converge in various places. Because you couldn't, go, oh yeah, so here's this guy who had his wife killed in front of him and his baby taken. That I don't think would necessarily work in the openness of everything that's available. Like, these worlds are available for people to use. And I guess that can go into your point, which I am also 100% for. I just don't like okay, we're just going to slap the name of something on this and just call it that thing. Like the first Mario movie. Like, that was not, they wanted to make a totally different movie than what they actually made, because that wasn't anything resembling what Mario Brothers was.
Oh, yeah. You mean with Bob Hoskins?
Old one, yeah. The OG
Mario. That's Luigi Mario. I fucking love watching that movie.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't think
it's so much fun.
Seen it.
It's fucking nuts.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good because it's so horrible.
That movie looks like if a child had explained to an adult what Mario was, and then that adult wrote a script about what he thought the child was saying. Yeah. Because, like, that's how I felt when I was watching it. I was like, well, this is in the ballpark of right, but it's really wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is right adjacent on almost everything, but very wrong. And then that's when I was like, oh man, a 5-year-old explained this to a scriptwriter, somebody was like, we need you to write a Mario movie. And they're like, I don't even know what video games are. And they went to their kid and they're like, you know what video games are? And the kid was like, yeah, I know what Mario is. There's a dinosaur and he eats people. And then there's King Koopa and he's got spikes on his head. And then he's kind of a dinosaur, and you know what I mean? And like, there's Mario. What's Mario's last name? He's Mario because he's a Mario Brothers. And then there's Luigi. So it's Luigi, so it's a Mario Brothers. You know what I mean? Like, every little point, like, you could be like, okay, this is like somebody got this explained to them and then wrote a script on what was explained to them. And in that way, it's pretty fucking good. But like it's not Mario at all.
Definitely. That's the vibes right? That I don't like in those movies like that.
Yeah.
I think it's more so if you start changing the world and not necessarily the characters, that's when I get miffed about things like that. Actually, funny enough, we're talking about game movies. Borderlands is actually free on Roku TV now. So we haven't seen it yet, but that's on our list.
I just refuse. I can't bring myself to. I want to say this.
So terrible.
I think that Fallout the TV show did very right. I don't want to see Kratos in a show. Like, do another character, you know what I mean? Or something along those lines. That being said, I'll say this. There are games like God of War, like your Uncharted's, even though they fucked that one all to hell, that where you can just, like, take that story, kind of refine it, and tell it, and people would be okay with it, as long as you cast the character. 'Cause it's much more story-oriented. So I see what you're saying on that. I just, like, overall, I think it is a really tricky medium to play with in a movie format, you know, because you don't have that power over what it is and how it is. I think Fallout did a great job because Fallout is like, we're going to play all the hits, but we're going to play it by this band over here. Not this band that you guys love and you don't want us to fucking touch. We're going to do this band over here. And, like, that was the right way to do it because it's like, this is its own thing. It's its own thing, you know? And then you can introduce some things from the other stuff and people be like, oh man, I get to see so-and-so in it, you know? And that kind of works because it's its own thing. I think that, like, that is the right way to do it if there's any way. I don't want this milled for movie stuff. I just want them to make movies. I want my movies to be different from my other things again, you know?
That's fair.
Like, I just want movies on their own over here and then other things over here. I don't need them to be the same anymore.
Yeah, that is true. I think we are getting, like, we do get a little too much into the everything synergistic. Like,
yeah,
it can be cool, it can be unique when applied appropriately, but, you know, there's also very clearly, like, oh, well, I mean, they did this actually with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, rather. They only included, like, MCU characters in the roster, when traditionally there had been, like, X-Men and all these other characters too, but it was almost exclusively MCU characters. Just they were just like that. Let's mush it all together. It's got to all be the same thing, and, like, then it starts losing its uniqueness. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I get a lot more excited nowadays when I see movie or video trailers that are something I've never seen before. Like last movie preview I watched that I got really excited for is Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh. It is an action movie that takes place in 1987. Ryan Reynolds is a fighter pilot that gets downed over Russia, and Kenneth fucking Branagh plays a Russian who's like a badass who has to get him to the border. That, to me, right there, I'm like, that's what I want. I would want that way more than you, like, hey, the Star Fox trailer just dropped. I don't want that anymore. I just don't want that anymore. Like, not from a movie. You know what I mean? Like, I just want new stuff in the movies. I want to see new things in the movies. I don't want to see just rehashes of stuff I've already done. And again, this also comes from, like, everything. Everything is just a rehash. Like, now we're doing movies that are based on video games that have been remade 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, like, I already played this game twice. I don't then need to see somebody's idea of what that looks like in a movie. I know this story. I'm good. Let's move on. Let's do something new, you know?
Yeah, definitely. We are looking squarely at you, Resident Evil. Squarely at you.
Yes. All right. Well, that was the last one then?
That was the last one, yes.
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll wrap this thing up.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all the show we have for you. We've gone almost a full hour and a half, so I'm very excited. We had a lot more fun on this show. It was a good palate cleanse after last one. And hopefully you guys got some good indie recommendations. That being said, this is the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, what would you like to plug?
So we did get some more BG3L3 in. Oh man, I love that we've what we have done, what we have created here.
It's truly like recreating an actual D&D session. It's like, let's try and be smart turns into bloodbath. Like that's
yes,
what it
multiple
is.
times, multiple times.
It's like, wait, watch this. I could do this. Oh no, we got to kill everybody.
I'll tell you, the one, this is going to completely out of context, and somebody will eventually know what this means. But the grease scroll one, that pissed me off. Why does it come down? Why does it come down? You would think that it comes up.
Neil blew
A normal
himself
person
up.
would think
He
that
blew
it comes
himself
up.
up. He blew himself up good. Oh man, that's good. We also got Misney in there. Finally,
Yeah, we have
so
Misney now. Misney
can't
is
wait to get
real.
sued.
Yeah.
We so we have there's at least 2 more episodes. There'll be an episode the day after this, and then week from that, and hopefully we'll get some more recorded in the nearest future.
Oh yes.
In addition to that, Neil is also, if you're in the RPGs, he is also on Ordo Scriptorium. We just finished up Hunt 3. I am very proud of it. It came out really nice. Please go back and listen to it either on YouTube or Spotify. We have another actual play going up where me and Neil are in it as spies, and it has been a lot of fun already. I can't wait to see what happens from here on out. There's already somebody created a hurricane, and then... So, like, right off the bat, we've got something fun stuff going on. On the video game side, I am doing plenty of reviews. I am working on a Sunderfolk review. I am also working on a review for Wobble Dogs. I'm working on it with my daughter. Wobble Dogs is an incredibly fun, weird fucking game that I have had tons of laughs with my daughter. And yeah, other than that, just keep it locked. We got the BG3L3. We've got podcasts coming out. We're still working on other stuff. We're not going anywhere. So we won't be on next week. Hopefully we'll be on the week after that. Neil is going to watch wrestling with me.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, other than that, as long as you guys keep watching, you keep listening, we will keep making these. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to tell you. This I might put this in either a bonus or the beforehand or something, just because it's a running joke for basically every show on here. Probably the most egregious fuck text happened in real life with me and Jeremy the other day.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I'm surprised because if I was Jeremy and it happened right in front of me, I would consider walking out on me. Like, considering the amount of stuff we had just done. So, like, first of all, to set this up, we record OMGM, and I think I've told you this before, but it's like a batch recording thing. Like how you and I used to record Streets of Retro. He comes over, and we spend basically an entire day just playing a game and recording episode after episode after episode, right? Mm-hmm. With OMGM, it's usually 5 1 or 1.5 hour episodes. So give or take 6 to 7 hours. He gets here usually 8 a.m. Between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Does not leave until like 3 or 4. Okay? That's how we record that show. So we sat down to start recording season 8. The last Friday in summer. We got one Friday in, 5 episodes. That one was marred with its own difficulties that I'm not even going to share here for ease of time, but we fucked a bunch of stuff up on it. Nonetheless, we got it done. Then we met on Friday. Same thing. And just to caveat this even more, like how much I fucked up even more, is he was like, hey, do you care if we record a little bit later? If you do, it's fine. We can keep the time the normal time. And I said, actually, if it's okay, let's keep it the normal time because I have something I have to do around 5 o'clock. So I forced him to do it at the normal time, even though he wanted to come later. He shows up. We record till 2. Okay. And that is when I realize, after 4 out of the 5 episodes, that I have been recording our audio. I have been recording our faces, but I forgot to switch the game recording from the Baldur's Gate 3 from the night before over to the game. I don't know how I missed it 4 times in a row. Like, it's very clear to see that I was not recording the game, especially since I kept jumping over there and was like, am I still recording? Oh, I am recording. Great. There's no picture there, Zach. There's no picture there. Honestly, I don't know how he didn't pick up on it. Like, it was madness. So I just realized that. So we had 5 episodes, then 4 completely missed. So I'm like, look, man, I don't know what I was so mad. I can't believe he didn't walk out. I mean, we ended up like agreeing to just restart the season since we hadn't posted anything anyway, which means that invalidates the first round that we had already recorded. But at least that way we could correct some of the mistakes we had made in making it the first time. So we had to start all over from scratch at 2:00. Got 1 episode done, and then he left. I told Melissa about it. She was like, I would have punched you. I was like, I know. It's terrible.
You fucked up so hard, you erased recordings that already happened.
I invalidated shit. Yeah, I invalidated 10 hours of work, basically.
God.
It's just useless. Oh, it was rough. It's a rough one. So I just want you to know, you no longer hold the record for the worst fuck text. It's definitely that one.
And I thought it was bad when we had to re-record that one episode that one time till like 3 a.m.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah.